there's no Kraft macaroni and cheese on the shelf. Here's something they'll like even better, and the kids can even help you make it. Okay, you can pick any kind of pasta you'd like for this Kraft macaroni and cheese. I'm using small shells because I have another reason for trying this. I want to try frying it up in croquettes, so I want a smaller pasta. But you can use anything you like, probably elbows, if you want to replicate the box mac and cheese. So this award-winning piece of cinematography is me heating up the water. I've never seen anyone else make macaroni and cheese with just the American cheese. I've seen it with Velveeta, and Velveeta is awful in my view. It's got sugar in it. Why on earth would anyone make macaroni and cheese with Velveeta? It melts well, I'll admit, but I cannot eat it. And I've been making macaroni and cheese with American cheese since I could reach the top of the stove, literally. When I was little, my mom was working, and it was up to me to make dinner for my sister, so this is what I usually made. She still asks for it when I go and visit her. So you're going to want a package like that, a double stack of the deluxe Kraft American cheese slices. And the hard part is getting just one stack out without touching the other stack, because if you touch the other stack, then it's likely going to get moldy. So here I am trying to wrench out the one stack of cheese without touching the other stack, and it's kind of hard. So here we go. When I was little, and up until, maybe 5 years ago, you could still find like a 2-pound box of just American cheese that wasn't sliced, much like the Velveeta now, but I haven't been able to find it. If you know where to get it, please let me know, because I love it. But this is fine. It's a little more expensive, I think. I used to just shred the big block, but this way I just dice it. I'll dice it up into like 1/4 inch pieces, and it melts just as easily as the shredded stuff. The dog is about to get a little treat here in a second, if you watch carefully. Isn't it funny how dogs learn the principles of physics so quickly? I actually got a D in physics. It was the only class I ever got a D in. Okay, like I said before, I'm using the small shells pasta here, and that is because I'm going to use some of this to fry up in croquettes, and I'll feature that on a later video. Okay, so just in case you've never made pasta before, you want it to be rolling, boiling when you put the pasta in, and then you let it come back up to heat so it's boiling again, and then you turn it back down to medium so it doesn't boil over, and then you let it go for however long it says on the package. I think here I did it for about 10 minutes, but you can do the taste test to make it al dente whenever you think it's ready. So this isn't just for kids. Adults might like something added to the macaroni and cheese. Here I am adding some asparagus. I'm getting some asparagus ready to put in there. That's fresh asparagus I saw at the store. It looked lovely, so bought some, and I'm just boiling it till it's not even quite tender, because it is going to cook just the tiniest bit in the hot macaroni and cheese when you're done. But you could also I do broccoli a lot. You could do cauliflower. I've seen spinach and tomato. Just about anything you want can go to mix in with your macaroni and cheese. My sister still likes it plain. She doesn't like me to monkey with it, but I really enjoy doctoring it up myself. Now you're going to add your cheese and a splash of milk. If I had to give it a measurement, I would say a 1/4 cup. Start with a 1/4 cup and work your way up depending on the thickness of the macaroni and cheese that you want. I use lactose-free milk because I'm really sensitive to lactose, and interestingly, maybe you know this, but cheese, in the process of fermenting, like many other things, it eats up the sugars that are bad for you. So cheese doesn't bother me, at least on a cheese like this, and not like a mozzarella, which is fresher. But if you're sensitive to lactose, do use lactose-free milk here. So my vegetables are all ready to take off the heat, and I'm going to get them ready to put in the macaroni. Of course, I'm going to strain any water out of them or anything so that doesn't affect the thickness of my macaroni and cheese. I'm just checking out the crispness of it. It's very hot, but it was delicious. So I'm going to get rid of that water and get ready to put it in with the macaroni and cheese. I think you want to stir it up first though. Make sure it's the right thickness for you before you put in the vegetables or any addition. A word about the spatula that I'm using there. I threw it out real shortly after this because it was starting to off-gas, I guess you'd say. It was starting to smell, and I was blaming it on my dishwashing soap. But I did some reading online, and those silicone spatulas, eventually, some of them, not all of them, but this was a Pyrex one, eventually they just start to break down and they just start to smell terribly like chemicals. And it made me really sad because I like that spatula, but I just threw it right in the trash when I found this out. And also, if you can see, it was really hard to clean down under it by the handle there, and I was worried about bacteria anyway. So nobody ate this but me. Even Dr. Dunleavy didn't have any of this. So you don't need to worry, but and I survived. But I feel badly that I just had to pitch that spatula in the trash. I would use a different brand than Pyrex if you're going to buy a silicone spatula. So now you're going to want to stir it up until it's nice and creamy, and you can see there it already looks delicious, and those relatively large little slices of American cheese melt pretty quickly. You just want to get them all melted and add a little bit more milk if you need it. I don't personally see how a child could like boxed macaroni and cheese better than this. But who understands the mind of a child? I certainly do not. Maybe you do. Better than me, better than I. I understand dogs a little bit better than I understand children. Now that the cheese is all melted, it's ready to go. It's perfect just as it is, and I'm going to have a little taste here. I'm sure your kids will like it just like this. And now's the time to add the vegetables in.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. Could you please repeat what you said?
Siri is hearing me somehow. Anyway, I'm gonna...
I didn't get that. Can you try again?
Never mind.
Okay.
So now I'm draining the water off my asparagus and I'm going to add it in. But if I were visiting my sister or you're feeding your kids, you'd probably just want to stop now. But to doctor it up, you want to add your vegetables in now that it's all creamy and stirred up. Drain the vegetables well, put them in. I think there's a whole bundle of asparagus there. I just broke it up and simmered it till it was just barely tender. And now I'm gonna mush it all together and enjoy it. Now there's a lot of salt in that American cheese, so if you're watching your salt, you want to be careful with something like this. But really all this is the macaroni, the American cheese, a little bit of milk, and any vegetables you want to put in it. It couldn't be more simple. And like I say, I think I said it before, I might have deleted it, but I've been making this since I could reach the top of the stove, literally, probably since I was 5 years old. I've been making this for my family, and my sister still loves it. It's just delicious, and the only thing that I would change is that I could still get that 2-pound block of American cheese. That would be really great. If you add any more herbs, like maybe a garlic something or other, don't use garlic salt because it's already got enough salt in it. I'm going to use some salt-free spice blend. It's got some peppers and some other things in it. But again, if you're making it for kids, you probably just want to keep it plain and simple, just the cheese and the milk. I'm going to give it a taste here. I loved it. I've loved it for 55 years at least, maybe more. Now stay tuned for my frying up some of this into cubes. If you like this video, I hope you share it with your friends. Please subscribe. It really helps me make a living without a job. Take care and see you soon.